Actually, we're going to do something different because
Oh,
oh yes, I opening, folks. You're in time for the slick opening, everyone. Wow, that was slick, wasn't it?
what a slick and beautiful thing that is.
That was a masterpiece, sir. Well done. So, anyone, welcome one and all to a new episode of Between Two Brians. Between the two of us, we had to come up with a solution for something. I am, I am your co-host, freelance editor, award-winning author, Facebook famous YouTuber, and former mortician's assistant Brian K. Morris, and you are.
I am Brian Rodman, the author and illustrator of the comic book series, soon to be novel series, Memoirs of an Angel, as well as the Nebulizer. And I have been seen in short stories in the award winning Pulp Reality #4, as well as many others. And yeah, I'm happy to be here
Yeah, we're
and
happy that you are
alive
here.
and healthy today.
Yeah, there we go. Well, we're
Yeah.
glad you're here as always, sir. And of course, we would not be here were it not for the kind and other
I do want to
right.
say, Brian, your mic is breaking up really bad.
So is yours on my end,
Oh, really? So,
which is what is leading up. It is beginning to rain here very heavily.
all right.
So, Carl Witzman, I see you're in the audience. If we freeze up, you may have to come in and bail me out, and just turn out the lights for everyone. But otherwise, we can't be stopped.
Other than natural disasters and acts of God.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas we are an unnatural disaster. So, we got that going for us. But anyway, we want to thank the people that help keep us on the air. And first and foremost is our Patreon subscribers. Patreon is a monthly subscription service where you can support your favorite creators directly. And we've got all these wonderful people who support me at www.patreon.com/Brian K. Morris. And also the elite come to meet on Brian Rodman's Patreon page. That's at patreon.com/Brian Rodman. All in lowercase, all goodies guaranteed, because if you subscribe to our channels, either one of us, we offer you things for it, because Brian puts up an occasional blog, I must admit. Mine is more the ramblings of a diseased mind. And also, currently, right now, we are offering for the $5 a month and up the first glimpse at the brand new Terrors 2. Yes, the sequel. So it is being done. Ready for your squinties to be feasting on it. And anyway, but we would appreciate your checking us out on patreon.com, because your support means the world to us.
And I do want to add, for my patrons,
please.
here in the next 2 weeks, we're just kind of working out the kinks of the PDF copy of the first 4 chapters of Memoirs of an Angel, the Grey Pilgrim novel that will be launching June 25th at 12 p.m. So you guys, the book won't come out till later this fall, but if you're a patron, you will, no matter any level, starting at $2, you will get the PDF copy of part 1 of the book.
That is awesome. Thank goodness for that. That sounds really cool. So anyway, check us out at patreon.com. And also, we want to thank Jeffrey Hayes of Plasma Fire Graphics, because when the look of your book matters to you, you're going to contact Jeffrey Hayes, because he does spectacular work in a variety of genres. And there's a reason why I have this assemblage of books here, because that's where we're going to be talking about some of this later on. And the brand new Captain Hawkland book.
That looks so good. I want that so much. The size is different than the first volume.
Yes, it is, but this size doesn't matter. I keep telling my wife. And think of this as like, this isn't more than a book. This with Jeffrey Hayes cover, okay? You know what I'm saying? This is like Chernobyl. All right.
I mean, that cover's so good, I'm not a virgin anymore.
I know, me either.
Yeah.
Either, and yeah, every night it's the same thing. But anyway, you get 5 Captain Auckland short stories by creator Charles F. Milhouse, Clyde Hall, Bobby Nash, Robert J. Mendenhall, who's got a really good series called Codename Intrepid that I recommend to people, and also myself. And also, of course, he did this amazing award-winning cover too. Oh my God.
So good.
Oh my God, this should come with a pack of cigarettes for
I mean, look at
afterward.
this. Just looking at these covers, it's making
I know it's taking Brian's breath away, literally.
Man.
So when you want the best working on your covers, you definitely want to talk to Jeff Facebook page and see some of the samples of his ongoing work, because this guy's booked. You got to get in, got to make your appointment to get his attention. And then go over to plasmafiregraphics.com and ask about his indie creator-friendly pricing. And he's so easy to work with, and the results speak for themselves. As Plasmafire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you, because it definitely matters to your readers. And we also want to thank the Indie Author Book Expo of West Des Moines, Iowa. They've got a great gift and book shop at the Valley West Mall there. But let me take a back seat here and let Jen Thompson tell you all about it.
Hey everyone, if you haven't heard, let me tell you all about Iowa's only all indie independent bookstore. That means every book on our shelves is self-published or produced by a small publisher. What does that mean for you? Simple. Better books built together. Now come check out what you've been missing at IABE Books and Gifts and find a new reason to fall in love with books again. Located at Valley West Mall across from the Des Moines Children's Museum. IABE is a literary nonprofit.
And it's well worth your time to visit that wonderful place. I've been there a couple times, and it is really cool place. So,
yeah, I need to go. She's been after me to have memoirs there, and I need to get off my butt and actually message her back.
Yeah, definitely. She's a sweetheart. Hey, and we ought to coordinate so we go together.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
That'd be.
That would be fun, and we'll get into all kinds of legal trouble. It'll be great.
Probably, I can tell you where the good places to eat are. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, yeah, there you go. That's nice.
Wait a time. Instead of wearing like a real shirt, I'm going to come out in a T-shirt. Now, I haven't bought a new T-shirt except at the Superman celebration every year, because I've got like enough to make like 20 quilts, and I'm not joking when I say that either.
Yeah, okay, so one day you need to make me a quilt of your T-shirts and mail it to me,
and they'll still be warm when you get them.
It'll be, yeah. I was gonna say, well, and this is honestly, folks, this is how weird we are. This is it. Like, just. This is normal for us. So welcome to the party.
Yeah, that's true. For me, normal is a little town north of Bloomington, Illinois. Look it up on a map. That's map humor. But there's a place that Cookie and I discovered last time we were out there called the Breakfast Club. Now imagine this huge building, and the first thing you see is kind of 60s Art Deco inside.
Yeah.
Okay, and those bright colors. You see the Smurfs cartoons playing on the monitors. And above the doorway, you see the image of Audrey Hepburn from Breakfast at Tiffany's. The gown and the pearls.
Iconic image, yeah.
Huge iconic image. And she's holding up a plate of pancakes.
Oh.
And the waitresses wear some of the cool T-shirts they have there. And one shows a coffee pot, and it's labeled Pot Dealer.
I want that shirt.
Yeah, I do too. Cookie and I have one, and it says more espresso, less depresso. And then they have a third one I want. Then the slogan is brunch without alcohol is only breakfast.
That is very true.
That's
very true.
That's true. That's speaking truth to power there. But anyway, definitely check out the IABE. They have a page here on Facebook, or they're on Facebook, wherever you happen to be. And check them out, because they are an amazing, amazing organization. They do a lot to help all of us indie authors and deserve your help and assistance, and buy a lot of books from them. And in fact, if you go into their store at Valley West Mall, you can pick up my books. Some of my books in there too. So Brian, should we wade through the plethora of comments?
Yes, let us do it. Let us say hi to all of our people.
Here we go. We're going to sprint through this like we're being chased by somebody we owe money to. And here we go. We're going to start out with the man of the hour, Carl Witzman. Yay! He's here first. How you doing, Carl? And, of course, the one, the only author, Michaela Jade. Check out her website. Check out her pages here on Facebook. Mwah. Also, check out the services she offers as far as editorial stuff and reviews. So check, contact her.
TikTok. Don't forget TikTok.
And TikTok. She's now on TikTok, too. And crash, the door bursts apart and splinters fly everywhere. As the dust settles, Mayor Michaela Jade slides to a stop and flops onto the couch. Whee! What a ride today was. So anyway, it's a dramatic.
You just follow her around and narrate her life.
I just follow her around anyway, and her husband and kids are getting really concerned about
hashtag stalking. I love it.
That's right. Hashtag getting to know you. Anyway, and what an entrance. Leave it to her. And everyone's saying, hello, I finished most of the things I need to do, says Carl. So I'm just chilling in here. And yes, Michaela Jade got her stuff done. And Kelly Carlisle, the one and only Kelly Austin, glad to see you here. Good to see you as always. And light rain and just enough to irritate you. Well, that's what we're here for now. And we're taking the next shift. And everybody's saying hello to each other. And same weather is here, kind of wet and cool, which caused Donna's knee to lock up. So I've been Mr. Fetchit today. Ooh, I've been having trouble with my left knee today, so I feel for the poor lady. And Kelly just came out of the hospital. She had pneumonia. And she broke her foot. So yeah. We're
all falling apart, aren't we? Jeez,
I am. I'm trying to lead.
I can't breathe. Yeah, I can't breathe. Half of us can't walk. Yeah, this is a no wonder we sit down and write for escape to other worlds. We can't function in this one.
Yeah, a world where both my knees work.
But between my lungs and your knees, we make a healthy person.
We do. We really do. And the other one's dead. But anyway, Carl says she's resting and getting her leg rubbed. That's code, by the way. Glad to hear that you are out. And Kelly's just sick and tired of being sick. I don't blame you. And she should be here. Cool. And Grant Lankard of Beowulf and members of the Morbid fame. It's good to have you here. Everyone's saying hello. And I pictured that good evening being said in Alfred Hitchcock's voice. Oh, yeah. I like that. And yes, here we go, but not soon enough. I'm telling you that. And we have been wooted by Michaela. And yes. And I'm on a roll now. And Don Doulis is here. I'm glad to see you. Everyone's greeting her and showing her the love, and Darren's just being served. But I have priorities, so she's here first. That's right, family. You can starve. You got Don belongs. And everyone say hello. And Donna, Carly, glad to see you here, sweetheart. Don't forget to like and share. The high priestess of the Dark Church of the Rising Tide has spoken, so please give this a like and share if you would, please. It helps us very, very much. And everyone's still saying hello, and oh my goodness, all of our friends, they're just ignoring the hell out of us.
Oh, yeah, they don't care. This is just an excuse for them to get in the comments together and hang out. That's really all this is.
Yeah, I'm just going to start a show and just let it go, and I won't even show up. They'll just start.
Play some elevator music or something.
Yeah, I could do that. I got plenty. And your B-Rod fine.
My sultry tones.
Oh, yes.
My apologies that you hear me fine.
The Barry White of Louisville here.
Oh, no, but I know him.
Really?
Yes. His name is Philip. He's an amazing man. I've never his voice is beautiful.
Oh yeah. And echo Brian. And Brian's mic is breaking up. It is suiciding, is what it is.
Storm.
But anyway,
blame the storm.
We're storm out like REO Speedwagon. Oh dang, more work for me. Okay, better. Okay, Carl's here to bail us out, and don't make me come in there. Sounds like one of us better behave, and it probably isn't you. And I like kinks. Oh, wait, I am kinky. Michaela, that's why we get along so well. Anyway, and I think printers are making books shorter like the candy bar, saving money over consistency. And, hello, Nicholas Stockard. Hello, beautiful, bountiful, bouncing brotherhood of Brians. Well, we are beside ourselves with our, I read out of the
we're beside ourselves.
We are, yeah. Can't you see? But anyway, Nick Talker, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 10 a.m. Never mind the furthermore, vastly improved. Let me tell you that. Everybody's glad that guy's gone from before. Anyway, Nick, yes, it's true. And I say that some of the books I've seen lately really should have contacted Plasma Fire Graphics.
Yeah, unfortunately,
he spoils you. He
Yeah.
spoils you. He really does. And everyone's saying hello, 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 and hello. And this is easy when everybody talks to each other. And how goes the wonderful world of werewolves? Well, it brought Joe Bachman in here. How you doing? IndieCD.org. Are you happy now, Kelly? Or Dawn, excuse me, Dawn is getting on my case Monday. Stopping by to drop my like. I thought he was going to drop his mic, but he's going to drop a like really quick out to. Well, that's great to hear. I'm glad to hear that. Hope you guys have a good time. And no more night flogger for Trey? Okay, this sounds like something I need video of. And BKM says a breakfast club, and I see him sliding around in the hallway.
Yeah, except he won't get up. That's the problem.
That's it. That's it. Yeah.
That's it.
Covered in syrup. And Frogger, okay. What?
I think that's a correction of the night flogger. Because that sounds like a weird, like, serial beater person. But
yeah, and
Frogger, I'm interested now.
Yeah, I am too. I liked it better when it was back at Flogger. We could do 5 hours on that. And was that a Freudian slip? Yes, her Freudian slip is showing. And Kelly Austin says, Brian Rodman, your copy of Bishop Kincaid should get you in 45 days, barring postal delays. You two Kent Allard.
Yes.
Yes. And oh, thanks for that image, Nick. And no, Dawn, she will continue flogging until morale improves. As for Frogger, she is back to daytime Frogger in a few weeks when she'll be on a project again. All right. And hey, Joe, that's a really great song by Jimi Hendrix, and Jimi Hendrix Experience, by the way. And ducking autocorrect. Yeah, I know what you mean. Those things duck me up every time. So, yeah. And Nick Tockard says, well, Joe Bachman, I'm so glad Trillian is finally getting off. Midnights. You were kind of getting that anticipation, weren't you? And Mikhail says, I'm not on TikTok, but others share my work there. Okay,
really? I swear I thought I saw like a notification saying that she posted something.
I did get a notification that you were on.
You might want to check that, Michaela, because somebody's you on there.
Oh, nobody can replace Michaela.
I mean, like a poor impersonation.
Yeah, a pale imitation of our girl. Yes. Everyone's welcome. And yeah, maybe we'll get to see more of her. Yeah, with that flogger. I definitely want to. And writers on the storm. There we go. Now we're in the doors now. And now we are greeted by the one, the only, the one, and everybody should be on their guard now. Sarah, mwah, we love you, Sarah. May God have mercy on all our souls. She knows it when I introduce her like that, by the way.
Yeah.
Evening Lovelies just slid into my room from having my ass handed to me at work. Oh, wow.
Ooh. Literally? That sounds painful.
Oh, we can only hope. I don't know if I can go on now, but anyway, with that image locked in my mind, I love you, Sarah. I'm glad you're here. Everyone's happy she's here. And Werewolves of London is in the editing process. It'll be out soon. We'll be talking about editing later. And everyone's, oh, hello, everyone. Oh, and Writers on the Storm. I like that for a title. I do too. Mm-hmm. And here we go. Come on. There we go. Carl the Night Flogger, newest entry into the Mad Gasser universe. I was thinking it sounds like a case for Carl Kolchak myself.
Yeah.
There we go. And BKM OMG, says Sarah, I saw the trailer of the movie that you're in with Bishop. Yes. It is a Bishop Stevens, who is a former WWF wrestler and fine actor and a terrific director. I will vouch for him. He is putting out a movie. He's just finished principal photography on a film that is about the only African-American serial killer.
Ooh, do you die? Do you get killed in the movie?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I just got my little page of script, and that's all they let me have. I felt like I was on Star Wars or something, or one of the Marvel movies. They were afraid I'd be like Tom Holland probably and blab all the cool parts of the show. But
is it going to be on YouTube or streaming network or anything, or do you know? Or can you say?
I can say this publicly since he's posted on it. There is a strong chance that it may make it onto a major And I do mean
Sweet.
major streaming service.
I mean, honestly, and I don't know if this is it or not, nor
Yeah.
do you feel, whatever you need to not say, but
Right.
Amazon Prime has a lot of, I mean, like even very indie
Mhm, mhm.
films. So like, and that's not a knock against those films,
Oh, no,
but
no, no,
like
no, 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 not at
clearly
all.
there's a production budget difference
Right.
between them and others.
Oh, yeah.
And Prime has a lot of those. So yeah,
Mhm,
I don't doubt that this
mhm.
movie will get picked up, especially if he's been from WWE.
Oh, yeah, and he's a terrific actor. He really is. I've seen his work before. Plus, he's one of the nicest human beings you will ever wish to meet.
Oh, good. I love
He,
that. I love when big stars end up
yeah.
being good humans. That's great.
Well, they really are. And Bishop's one of the best, and he was one of my favorite directors to work with because I've done stage, I've done film, and I'm not dissing anyone. I've not worked with any bad directors,
Yeah.
but Bishop was like really encouraging because I'm stage trained, and there's a difference between the kind of acting you do for stage versus TV,
Oh yeah,
or
for
rather
sure.
movies, rather.
It's a lot. You're a
And
lot more subtle in movies.
yeah, you have to be, and you also have to be aware of the camera, and you have to be, make sure your line of eyesight is comparable.
Hmm.
Because from years of anybody who talks to me for a while realizes that I'll look you in the eye, but then I'm like this. It's from years of being in retail where I'm looking for other customers.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But they taught me a trick to make it look like I could look away from somebody and still look on the camera like I'm still looking at them.
Ooh,
It was
tricksy.
Yeah, and Bishop was great because we ran over the scene about 6, 7 times in rehearsal, and he's like, "That was fantastic." Now I went excellent. And then we go through it and goes, "Oh man, you got it, that was so good, that was so good, that was excellent." Now I want perfect. And you hate to let the guy down. And he was
That's
just,
that's a good director when they can encourage you and you want to do well for them. That's
yeah,
great.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
and he had such a terrific crew. Just like a lot of the other film crews I've worked with. The sense of camaraderie and working towards the same goals. It was really really fun. So yeah, I'm. Anyway, it says you do creepy man with the newspaper very well. Well typecast again. Who knows what part you play? I can see it going one way or the other. Well, it's been rumored I go both ways. But anyway, no, it's kind of funny. I have told this story before, but one day. There was someone who was supposed to have showed up for the role I had. And I'm driving around Lafayette and I see Bishop Stevens is calling me, and Bishop doesn't do that usually.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, it's got to be an emergency. So I just pull over and I pick up the phone. And he's like, well, I had somebody had to back out of the role. I need a grumpy guy. So I'm going through my head of all the actors I know that could do this. And I said, well, I got a couple names for you. He goes, you idiot, it's you I'm looking for. I'm like, okay, fine. You sweet talk me like that. So anyway, no, I think he'll be pleased. Sarah. I did the best I could, and I had a great supporting cast.
What's
great
the
crew.
movie called? You can say, right?
Okay. Hold on a second. I'm going to get everybody the name of it because I know I'm going to screw it up. So I'm going to be on the Book of Faces real quick. Let's see if I can scroll down to it. And where are you at? He's got so many things. Oh, yes. It's called the Baton Rouge serial killer Derek Todd Lee. Feature film based on Derek Todd Lee, known as the Baton Rouge serial killer. Between 1992 and 2003, Lee brutally murdered 7 women, and is suspected of a total of 14 prior to his arrest and conviction in 2004. Doesn't that sound like fun?
Absolutely.
Sounds like you're the feel good movie of the year. I'm thinking.
I think it's going to be on Lifetime.
Yeah, I did too. Or Oxygen,
Hallmark,
one of those.
not Lifetime. Lifetime has, I was thinking Hallmark.
For sure, yeah.
The Hallmark Christmas special.
I can hear Bishop calling me on the phone right now in the other room, ready to reach through the speaker and choke me. You shut up, Brian. Anyways, everyone say hello to Sarah. Sarah goes, just your demeanor in the chair. I'm looking forward to seeing this. I tried looking and didn't see anything. Well, we'll have to get you a link to that. And hey, Carl, as far as I'm as caffeinated as BKM saw me getting in Carbondale. Why do you think I gave the warning? I need blood in my caffeine stream. Oh God, yeah. No, you don't need it. And I do like the idea. Mad Flogger like the Krampus dancers smacking random people on the street. Is that what we're calling that part of the body now? And yes, may your maker have mercy on your soul. BKM would know. Anyway, oh my god, yeah, fails an innocent smile. I'm impressed with Bishop. We got to see him from going into acting at the very beginning, right when he was about to be in a comic written by you and with Ron. Yeah, that won't happen now, unfortunately, but it was a good project. And thank you, hon. Thank you so much. Anyone can be killed in a movie. You just need an off-screen Wilhelm scream. That's true. And yes, I have a profile, but there's another author, MJ, but she is spelled different. Well, she's wrong. And there's nothing wrong with Indie Flicks. The Asylum alone is enough to keep me intrigued. And Moonlight Films, also somebody I've worked with in the past, do an incredible slate of films that you will enjoy if you like horror and spooky stuff and all. And all BKM has to do is sit there and exude a creepy vibe from that trailer. I remember Bishop trying to stop me at his table, and I told him I was looking for Ron before I met you. Oh my God, all these men in her life. I'm proud to be one of them. Had no idea who he was. I think it bursted a little bit of an eagle by accident right before we met. Just wanted to see my buddy from Chicago, and I lick all the spines. I could have added to the creep line of the movies. Yeah, you don't see them. They're saving it for.
They're offset. They're off camera.
Yeah, when I licked the entire spine on that newspaper, and no one, oddly enough, wants it back. Go figure. And yeah, we kind of get the feeling, Sarah. Anyway, he just put the link to the trailer in here. Check the IMDb. I went to Bishop's page to find the listing, but I know it's on IMDb. So, Sarah, two buddies and a twisted tail, and I've been watching true crime videos a lot lately, right up my alley. And like the show, Rodman Rabbit has air.
For now.
That's from when you were playing with the Chicago Bulls, I believe,
Stay tuned. I haven't been able to jump past 3 centimeters my whole life.
Oh, God. I tell people if both feet leave the ground, you got to call the FAA to make sure I had clearance. You know what I'm saying? So, you're welcome so much. We love you, Sarah. We do love you. And, hey, this is not bad. I got through this. Well, that's about the right time. About 20, almost. And, Mikhail, creativity on a budget. What's a budget? That's a thing other people have, and that's good too. I saved the trailer on my Facebook page. I don't think I can post links in here without a wrench. Folks, if Sarah wants to post the trailer link, please okay it. Okay, I would appreciate that. Thank you. And I gotta post this now. Real
professing the love.
I know. Feel the love. Point at the teddy bear. Anyway, actually, we don't point at the teddy bear.
That's perfect. Yes. Point at the little Brian to show where the big Brian touched you.
That's right. And this is the thing that goads many a person in the station to go. So anyway, and we're trying to be merciful, BKM. Oh, since when? And I say,
here it comes.
Yeah, okay, and okay, I'll nap it. Okay, and feel. Okay, there goes the YouTube violation there, and anyway, or the copyright violation. So anyway, we're caught up on the comments now, Brian. Shall we talk about tonight's subject?
Let's do, actually. And you brought it up on in the messenger, but did you say Kelly Austin actually?
Yes, Kelly Austin. This is her idea. So thank you, Kelly. Thank you very much. And if any of you have an idea for future shows, please let us know. Drop us a line on Facebook or something, and we will consider it. All right. And if you want to ask a question, please put it in the comments right now, and we will get to it as soon as we can. Okay. All right. Now that we've established the ground rules, tonight is creativity on a budget. Now, not everybody is dripping with wealth, and especially if you're in the creative fields. The old joke is, how do you make a small fortune in publishing? Well, first you start out with a large fortune.
Exactly.
And we all, every field has its challenges. But I think what we're going to talk about tonight, we're going to talk mostly about publishing, but I think a lot of it can apply to other fields of creativity as well. We'll try to make it as omniversal as, and that wasn't just a little nod to Damien Waldron there. But anyway, Brian, you want to start off? We had a plan. Or no, I was going to start, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, you go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to
yours.
start.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to give you my credits. I'm Brian K. Morris. I've got my own Internet Movie Database page. I have been a professional writer for 25 years plus, and not bad for 27. And we also have been a full-time writer since 2012. I have won a couple of awards, one for not murdering a man, but one for my writing. I also have several broadcasts that I've done on Facebook and on YouTube, and I'm a constant presence at many conventions in about an 8-state area now. And we work in a variety of, this is just the books I have here. I have published I'm what's called a hybrid author. I have self-published, I believe, 8 books, but I'm in probably close to 3 dozen altogether if you count articles I've done, or like the Krypton Companion or Hogan's Alley, plus other various anthologies I'm in, such as the Snow Shorts, which is what I won the award for. I'm also one of the voices in Spurs and Six Shooters. Checking out Ben books on that one. This is stormgatepress.com. So is this, and Jeffrey Hayes did the award-winning cover for this. And this is, as I said, out right now. And you can see I work in a variety of genres. Plus, I have a handful of novels. This is my latest one, The Terrors, which is really burning up the charts, I'm glad to say. Because I'm very proud of it. It's going to be my series book. But
it's very good.
Thank you. And thank you for your review, by the way. That was
You're welcome.
Really,
I mean
really
it.
Wonderful.
Very,
I
good.
Appreciate it. I do appreciate it. And if you've read it, folks, please leave me a review because it helps me pretty much with the algorithms on Amazon. That's always fun. But anyway, I have achieved a certain level of, some rungs up the ladder, so to speak. And if you think I'm impressive, take it away, Brian.
Yeah, right. I'm trying to get to your level, buddy. But the one thing that I can offer in this conversation, and Brian's done some of this too, but I have had a lot of success on Kickstarter. Since 2018, my wife and business partner, Robin Rodman, we have had 7 successful Kickstarter campaigns for our comic book series, Memoirs of an Angel. Woo, here we go. And our comic book series, The Nebulizer. And there you go, issue 1. And we have raised thousands of dollars on Kickstarter over the last 5-6 years. So we have a really good formula on that platform. And I'm branching out now. We're about to launch again next month. At the end of next month, June 25th, is the novelization for this series, and then we'll continue the series in that form, in illustrated novel form. And I've been featured in short stories, comic books, writing and illustrating, as well as the award-winning Pulp Reality #4. Branched out last year. Sorry, I'm having some breathing trouble. I'm okay. And I was able to jump in that, and I found I'm actually pretty good. So yeah, I have books in bookstores and comic book shops in 4 states, and regionally known at comic book conventions as well, and have a pretty decent online presence on Facebook mostly. But yeah, the biggest thing that I felt like I could contribute to this specific conversation, because Brian has a ton of knowledge. You've been doing it for a long time, and I mean literally thousands of years. And so, but I have a lot of success in Kickstarter campaigns, and what it takes to do that, to launch a campaign, to prepare for it, and all of the things you might not really think of. And really, you can. I mean, we have found that we can make more money off of one Kickstarter than an entire summer of conventions. So yeah, for us it works really well. It doesn't work for everybody, but for us that's the bread and butter. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I get that, and I think it's useful. Little side issue here to check. Basically, it's I think going out and pressing the flesh, so to speak, and campaigning among the normal people. That's a great way to build your fan base. Because
Absolutely.
one on one, because
Yeah.
people then can learn how relatable you are, or
Yeah.
in some cases not. But it's like,
or even if you
so,
aren't even if you aren't really relatable to them, your works can be.
there we go.
And
Yeah,
that's
there we go.
huge. Yeah.
And we are our best salesmen,
Yeah.
really, except in your case, Robin does a kick-ass
Robin
job.
is
She's
wonderful.
amazing.
Robin and our friend / assistant Sarah, they're both
Mhm.
fantastic.
They're fantastic.
They've been carrying the torch for the last couple of years because of my health. So
I've got a really good Sarah as one of my assistants too, so I
yeah,
get that.
yeah.
But it's
And
like,
with just one look from Cookie, and people will be too scared to say no.
exactly. That's why I bring her along
Yeah.
everywhere I go, everywhere I can. So it behooves us, to check where we sell our stuff, because I'm trying to work now, and it's succeeding. I'm glad to say it's a process. Selling more online, because I recognize in my case, I've you know I've got health issues too,
Mhm.
and I did 1 year where I was at every show I could
Yeah.
get at, and I like in about 48 weeks out of a 52-week year, I was out there, and sometimes two cities at the same weekend, like
Yeah.
Saturday in one place, Sunday at another. And I had 4 weekends off between the start and end of that season,
Mm.
which is why about late November, I'm sitting behind the wheel of my SUV crying like an infant because
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
done yet. So.
Yeah, man. That'll take it out of you for sure.
It does, but
Yeah.
and that's another thing, is to sell your stuff online, which can be in remote, and we can probably talk a little bit about that. But also, it can reach areas that you will never get to.
Yeah.
Like we've sold stuff internationally. I've only been out of this country for a full 120 minutes, and that was Canada. But I've not been to Japan. I've not been to France, Great Britain, and yet I've sold books in all those areas.
Yeah,
Thanks
and
to the interwebs. So
I've never same here. I've never set
Mhm.
foot in another country, period. 0
Mhm.
seconds. And
Sure.
I'm in a couple libraries in Europe, many
Uh-huh.
different, customers in Ireland and
Right.
London, and
Mhm.
I'm currently being taught in a high school in memoirs is being taught in a high school in Turkey.
Wow.
So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah, it's really humbling.
Fantastic.
I'm like, why are you doing this to these children? But but
Yeah, Illinois has laws about that sort of thing,
yeah, I don't know. But the reason and the only reason that most of those things are happening is because of the internet presence that I've cultivated. And I think this is probably the first thing we should really dig our heels into. It takes time. A
Yes.
lot of people want to just like Kickstarter, perfect example. A lot of
Mhm.
people will launch a Kickstarter and not even build up to it. There's zero preparation that they put
Mhm.
into it.
Mhm.
Robin and I researched and
Mhm.
or we studied and we talked to people and we vocalized our intentions about launching on Kickstarter for a literal year and a half before we even launched our first book. And it was hugely successful. We got up to our first one. The goal was $2,000. We reached it in 30 minutes,
Nice.
and then we reached almost $6,000 total
Mhm.
on our first on this book right here on the first trade paperback. And but the point of this is it took a lot of time. It took a lot of time to figure Kickstarter out,
Mhm.
seek out advice, free advice, might I
Mhm.
add.
Mhm.
And there's I'll just go ahead and drop it. And Brian, you know this gentleman. Tyler James has a
Oh, yeah.
wonderful podcast for
Mhm.
free called
Yes.
Comics Launch. And it is geared towards indie comic creators about Kickstarter, but it has great information about launching on Kickstarter, no
Mhm.
matter what you're doing. It could
Mhm.
be, I mean, he even has a few episodes because he sells plush toys
Mhm.
sometimes of his characters.
Nice.
So there's a variety of reasons that you could launch a Kickstarter campaign, most of us here are writing books, be it comics or novels.
Mhm.
Those two on Kickstarter are kind of the same kind of strategies, honestly. So
Yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, you brought up the idea of getting help. I know that when I got my feet really in the deep end of publishing, I'd been selling like articles and stuff. And back in the 80s and 90s, I had done my own line of mini comics, the photocopied things. You fold them, cut them, staple them, and you send them out.
I have some.
Yes, you do. Yes, you
Yeah.
do. That's what he's calling his retirement fund. Anyway, fortunately, I have no shame, so it doesn't matter. But anyway, but no, the idea is that along the way, when I realized that doing stuff like this was going to be my bread and butter for the foreseeable future, that were ahead, like light years ahead of me. As far as what do I do next? Where do I start? What should I concentrate on? And I'll drop a name here, Dirk Manning.
Dirk Manning's, yeah.
Very Dirk Manning, and plus he has an excellent book on building a independent comic book career called Right, as in WRITE, Right or Wrong, and he's got a brand new edition of it out.
Yeah, I was about to say there's a new edition of it out. Very good.
Yeah, and it's a page turner. It really is, and it'll give you all kinds of great information. But like you said, Brian, the one key ingredient is that, and I think it's true of anything, that you can get instant results, but you pay for them either with cash, effort, or time.
Oh, absolutely.
And like some people think that hello,
Kitty. Beasley, everyone.
Hi, Beasley. How you doing?
She wants to snuggle.
I understand. So do I. But anyway, no.
Come on.
But anyway, the the idea is you can put sweat equity into it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you can also take time, build relationships with people who will help you. I'm the first to admit that where I'm at, if I were doing this by myself, I couldn't even afford the paper or the brown box to live in under the bridge. That I've gotten so much good advice and encouragement from people who did not have to do it.
Yep. And actually right now, I think pretty much everybody in the comments has probably seen it already. There's a Neil Gaiman quote going around. You were tagged in one of those posts by Rick Bradley, where he says that very thing. He said, no matter what he's done in his career, which everyone can say that, is, he's only where he is because other people helped him. That they didn't have to help him, but they did. Yeah.
Yeah, and Rick, and I will point to Rick with no shame whatsoever and say he's one of them.
Yeah, yeah.
Because he came up, Amy Hill and some other guy who spent a little bit of time with him, encouraging him, and 4 months later he was published in an anthology. I mean, how dang awesome is that?
Yeah.
He put out the effort. He put in the study, just like you did with, the Kickstarters, just like I did the first 6 months after I learned why my wife's Kindle was filling up with books. Well, somebody was putting them in there, and I decided I'd be one of them. So
there you go.
I like you. I did the research, and I'm finding that research never ends.
No,
which is good
because everything's always changing. That's a big thing too.
Yeah, because I think a lot of it is some of the places are trying to make things easier on everyone, and second, what I call black hat players. They're the guys that try to game the system, and like when I first got into this seriously back in 2012, there was a problem with guys on the internet, on Google, who would take literally the entire encyclopedia and make the letters transparent and then put that in as a graphic on their webpage. That way the bots catch whatever you're searching for.
Yeah.
That's how they get. And that's why Google went from we're going to do an update every 6 weeks to we're going to do an update every couple of hours.
Bro.
Just to stop them. And that's why the research can never end.
Yeah.
And that's part of what makes this fun.
Yeah, and another thing, the perfect segue into what I wanted to say a little bit ago, you touched on it, is networking by making friends.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that, it can sound a little icky at first, right? Like it can sound like you're just using people.
Yeah.
But that's not it at
Oh,
all. From
yeah.
experience, I mean, honestly, and you and I have talked about this. I found your show, Never Mind the Furthermore, in 2020.
Right.
Now I had already had some, minimal success as a comic book creator at the time.
Sure.
But I knew none of the Rising Tide folks. I knew nobody that, have eventually now become readers of mine, and I've become a reader of theirs, and so it's literally, you are looking for like-minded people who you can be friends with, be in their tribe, you can be friendly with and enjoy being around, but also support each other. Right. And you learn, like, what are you doing? How are you getting around this problem that I'm, coming up, or that I'm facing? And that is everything. It is. Now, you've heard this from everybody all the way up to the 1%ers. It is all in who you know. And if you don't put any effort into knowing people, then your work will never take off. I mean, unless you're like a gazillionaire and you can just do it all, which that, I don't know why you're here. We need you on the show to, to share some of your secrets. But
no joke.
But yeah, I think that is probably, I mean, honestly, and I'm not just pandering, because I have a Kickstarter launching next month on June 25th at 12 p.m. Memoirs of an Angel the Grey Pilgrim. #always promote. But really, about 85 to 90% of the reason I have any success at all is because of the people that are around me. I mean, you've already said it. I can't even go to shows anymore because of my health. Like, I literally depend on other people for just about every step of this. And that's the beauty of it. And it can be a great thing. There are times when it's not. There are times when it's abused, and that's terrible. But thankfully, that's not been my experience, and I think a lot of people can say the same in the comment section.
I would agree, and I'm tagging a number of people who are making relevant comments that we will
I've seen some good questions in there.
Yeah, there's some really good stuff coming up.
Yeah,
so please stay tuned, everyone. But yeah, and that's another thing. And if you want to get into the physical aspect of creating something, I tell people, at least as far as like making books, the only real expense that you have, the one you cannot avoid, is the cost of the books. If you want to buy them for yourselves, or buy some at wholesale to sell, that is the one thing you cannot get around. But, or also your proof copies. I do recommend proof copies, but I've learned to think of these expenses like that as an investment. Like buying a proof copy is my investment in making sure this book will come out right. And it'll look like something you could, see at a Barnes and Noble or a Books A Million. That looks that professional. Like getting an ISBN number, which is how you generate the barcode on the back of your book, and how it is picked up by booksellers or comic book, some comic book stores to sell. That can be free depending on who you have print the book.
Yeah.
Also, editing, you can do trade-offs for that. That's where your networking comes in. You might know somebody who will do your cover for you for like cheap or free. There is just about every aspect of the process can be gotten around with either, like I said, sweat equity, or knowing someone, like an exchange of services. Like, you edit this for me, please, and I will edit your thing, exchange of services. It depends on how much you are willing to put in as far as giving of yourself, giving of your time and your energy. It doesn't have to cost a lot. Even promotion. Just get on your Facebook page and say, "Hey, listen, I've got this great book that just came out."
I mean, Facebook is how we have been successful. We've done. My wife is a numbers person. She's an accountant for the number one, tourist attraction in
Mhm.
Louisville.
Wow.
And she loves running numbers. She runs the numbers on every campaign we've done. The majority of our purchases come from Facebook. And so I think Facebook is, and not ads either, just posts. That's free, but you have to put the time in to building your fan base and building relationships on Facebook. Social media, for better or worse, it's here.
Right.
Use it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Use it. Post stupid memes all the time. That's what I do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and that gets the algorithm. Your stuff gets in front of people, and then there's tricks and things whenever you're actually selling something.
Right.
There's tricks to posting about that because Facebook doesn't like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I lost my train of thought. I blame asthma. Brian, what do we want to jump into some questions now, or
we will? But I want to tack one thing onto what you said. You know, that a lot of people don't like self promotion, because you know they're embarrassed or they think it's bragging or whatever. Why are you embarrassed that you've created something so amazing?
Yeah.
Why, you know, and yes, I have proof, we all have proof, that Facebook will suppress messages, especially if you're sending people off of Facebook, like to Amazon, for instance. But if you only get 5% of the people that you normally would get, that's 5% you wouldn't have gotten if you hadn't opened your mouth about it. And as you know, like I said, be proud that you have created something. I just learned a statistic that there was a study done recently where 83% or 83% of the people who said, I want to write a book, and of that 86%, only 6% get halfway through it.
Yeah.
And of that 6%, only 3% actually finish. You're breathing some pretty rare air there. That is an accomplishment unto itself.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah, Mr. I've written 3 books in the time that we've been on the show. Yeah, right. Yeah, when you've arrived when your reviewers start using the adjective prolific. It's like, you know, I told people, you know, that I've wanted to get to the point where one day I'm like Brian who, and the next day is, oh God, not him again. And I am busy. I mean, I've got 3 short stories I'm working on right now. Plus I've got to do some business writing for somebody. And do you know how hard I had to work to get to be this overworked?
Yeah.
And it's a good feeling. And it's, you know, it means I'm putting stuff out. I'm getting my name out there. And, you know, it's from building relationships, and building relationships is actually building friendships.
Absolutely.
You know, I am friends with that I have admired for ages. You know, and that's, like I went to a convention and a very popular pulp writer and editor came up to me and said, anything I'm invited to, you and Cookie are invited to also.
Oh, wow. That's so nice.
Yeah. Or when, you know, you give them your credits in a cover letter, I know who you are.
Yeah.
In a good way. But yeah, and that's the sort of thing. You make friends, and it doesn't cost you anything. Just be a friend to them. Share their promotions.
Yeah.
You know, Bobby Nash and I are, you know, trading promotions all the time. Same with me and Charles F.
Cindy
Milhouse.
Kep is a champion at that.
Machine. She is, and she is such a good writer too.
Absolutely. I Robin and Beasley are here. Hello.
Hi, Robin.
Now I did want to say something really quick before we move on. Yes. I was one of the people who did not enjoy promoting my stuff. And you know my personality. I'm outgoing, boisterous. It was just I don't know, like I didn't want to. I felt weird selling my stuff. And so what helped me was writing down why I loved what I was doing. And actually, that turned into a Kickstarter. It turned into a Facebook post about why I did Memoirs of an Angel. And so when I did that, it didn't become in my head. It wasn't like this braggish thing that I was doing. It became, let me tell you about what I love.
Yeah.
You know, and let me share with you why I think you would love it too.
Yes.
Because honestly, at this level, especially at this level, it can't be about the money. There's no money.
No,
You know what I mean?
no.
Like, that's the thing. Like, the first piece of advice, director, illustrator of, you know, his stuff's been in major magazines. Nathan Thomas Milner, good
Oh,
friend
yeah.
of mine.
Mhm.
He gave me my first shot in comics. The thing that he said to me first, before we did anything with the book, he said, if you're going to get into this business, you better do it because you love it. Otherwise, you're going to hate it. You're going to hate it because there's no money in it. You might get a little bit,
Right.
but that's not why you do it. You can't. That can't be the reason why. And so that all of that is fueled into, I love this thing that I'm doing. Let me tell you about it. And don't let the sales cloud that mission in your head. Just tell people what you love, what you've done, and why you think they would love it too.
Yeah.
And that's all you need to do. And then you'll find that people have the book in their hands by the end of that conversation, and you're getting money. You know what I mean? Like, that's what's
Exactly.
helped me. And not
Yeah.
everybody's going to do it, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Because that's not why we're doing it. You're doing it because you love it. So tell people about it.
You do it because you can't see yourself doing anything else
You can't
and being
do anything
happy.
else.
Yeah. I can't stop at this point.
Yeah, I've said it before. Even if, you know, I'm homeless, I'm making up stories in my head. And
Yeah.
I'll probably tell people as they walk by and they run away from me. You know, like, that's literally, it's a part of who I am. So
Right.
I can't not do it.
I fully agree with you. And, you know, make it fun. Make it, you know, make it a hobby. Make it something you enjoy.
Yeah.
And money then becomes a bonus. You know, yes, I want to bring my wife home.
Yeah.
And bring
And
her
there's
home
nothing
so
wrong
she
with wanting that. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with
Yeah.
wanting to be able to fund your projects and to be able to actually make a little bit of a living off of it. That's
Right.
fine.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, there's
But
nothing wrong with it whatsoever. And, you know, just get over the idea of not promoting yourself, because otherwise nobody's going to know what you do or who you are. And
then you're gonna feel terrible every time. Every time you go to a show, you're gonna feel absolutely awful because no one talks to you and no one, you know, you're not selling any books and you don't know why. And for there is a certain type of personality. Many friends that I've spoken with that have trouble don't have a very outgoing personality. And I think the writing exercises and just getting used to talking about it with people
yeah,
is a
yeah.
very helpful tool for folks like that.
Right. And if you work retail or restaurants, you're going to be talking about what you sell. You're going to be talking about your
Yeah.
products. You're going to be talking about the food you serve. And if you're going to do this for somebody else, why aren't you going to do it for yourself when you are
Exactly.
the direct recipient of any benefits from it? You know, just, and even if you screw up, people love you anyway. I tell this one
Yeah.
story about a YouTuber, and she was one of those. She dressed like a '50s housewife, and her hair was perfectly coiffed. Here's my delicate book on love. This is, it's so, it's so pretentious, and so, genteel. And then she does it from her lovely kitchen, where one day while she's doing this live, her sink explodes. And there's water going everywhere. And first thing she thinks of is, screw the broadcast, I'm taking care of this. But she didn't turn her camera off. And so she's trying to, like, stop the water, trying to get things out of the way. And she's swearing like a sailor on leave. And, and her hair is soaked, her dress is clinging to her. And her YouTube views went like this. Because they saw her in a vulnerable moment. And God knows, if you've watched me over the last 7 or 8 years, I have shown vulnerable moments every now and then. But that's part of what we do. And you learn how to do it. You watch others, you get encouragement from others. And like I said, even if you screw up, It's just one person. You do the next one better. So
And
it doesn't cost anything.
And if you're creating something for other people to consume and read and enjoy, you're already being vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what story you're telling, that's a piece of you that you're letting someone else know about.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you just think about it that way. I mean,
Mhm.
that might help some folks who don't want to be vulnerable. Well, you already are, so you
Mhm.
might as well do it in a more, upfront kind of way to benefit this whole process.
Exactly. Exactly. Now you said let's get to the comments, and I agree. Awesome. Sarah says from earlier, thanks. So proud to see this additional venue of creativity. Well, we hope we're giving you guys something. This is something I think we can do again because there's a lot
Yeah.
we have not touched on. And congrats on Kickstarter and how it works for you. Oh, novelization. Interesting. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I will tell you right now, I'll reveal this right now. One of the things I'm going to be doing, like I said, I used to be a playwright. I'm going to novelize my plays.
As you should, sir.
Yeah, I'm excited by the prospect because some of them, I apply the same sort of thinking process to them as I do my regular work. So anyway, and Carl, there is the link that was provided for the trailer to Bishop Stevens' film. So please check that out. It's a really dandy film, and I'm in at about 1:15. Not that I've noticed or anything. And Michaela Jane says, "My question is Kickstarter, and my holdback is I don't want to have to mail all those books out."
Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think there are some really helpful tools. Michaela, I can actually look up an episode of Comics Launch that talks just about that specifically. And again, just ignore the comic specificity of it. And it talks exactly about how to learn, how to deal with the post office and how to deal with shipping. Books can go media mail. It's the cheapest thing that you can ship out.
Yeah.
And the biggest part of, the actual physical effort, we have people come over and we have shipping parties a lot of times. We'll have a couple folks come over, we'll do pizza, and we'll just box stuff up. We bought a label maker a few years ago. Robin handles all that stuff. And as far as pricing is concerned, know ahead of time how much it's going to cost you to ship these books and include that pricing in the cost of your levels.
That's essential.
I'll just go ahead and tell you, this coming Kickstarter, the book, just the physical copy of the book, is going to be $25 because $5 of that is going towards shipping. That is how it works. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's honestly, like, let's be real. Those of us who have Amazon Prime, for that free shipping, it's not free. That's included in your membership that you pay annually or monthly, whatever you do. And so that's how a lot of it is presented everywhere. And so the physical aspect of shipping things can get really annoying, but how else is it going to get to people?
Yeah.
You know.
Plus, you can get a service like stamps.com. And
absolutely.
you don't even have to leave the house, and you can get them. You can actually get the post office to pick them up in some municipalities too. So, or just get stamps.com and then just the post, to the mailbox at night. Just like drop them in the box. I guess
that's what we do.
Yeah. So, and Michaela follows up with, "You mean I have to work at it?" Ew. From one of the hardest working people in our community.
I was gonna say, yeah, right. Come on.
Yeah. It's like, does it hurt when your nose grows like that, sweetheart? I'm telling you. I yield to no one in my admiration for this woman's moxie. I'm telling you, she's amazing. Here, we've got some more questions, and yes, I've got my own IMDb page. And notice it actually has some credits on it.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I looked you up. I don't remember what there was some movie on YouTube that I saw you in a few years ago. And
with Lloyd Kaufman.
Yeah.
Graveyard Stories.
Yes. And I was like, I wonder if he has an IMDb, because we were already friends and you hadn't said anything. Because believe it or not, Brian does have a sliver of humility.
Yeah, which Nick Tucker thinks is imposter syndrome, but no, actually, I am willing to admit I'm not all that.
But yeah, he does have an IMDb, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to be on there.
Yeah, and it was a fun film to be with, and what was even more fun was Lloyd was at a convention I was at several months later, and I had a copy of the film, and I went up to him, and I pointed where I was dead last in all the credits, and I thanked Lloyd.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for helping my my hubris there, buddy. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Mr. Toxic Avenger, who's a star on 7 continents, if not more, and it just transcends the the B movie genre itself. And every time he walks by my booth, and I'm, hey Brian, how you doing? And everybody's like,
what?
You know him? Of course, I tell people the reverse is even better. They know me.
Oh, there you go. See, and my response would be, you know him biblically.
It's the back of his head, yeah. But anyway, and yes, Beasley steals the show, and pretty cat. Cat.
She's a sweetheart too.
She is. Well, of course she'd be. If she's going to be part of your family. And Kelly Carlisle has a question: how does a 2+ publisher like me catch up to the other authors who have been around 10+ years themselves? I'm playing catch up. How do I be relevant against the more experienced authors?
Honestly, I'll tell you this right now. Look at us. Brian was a professional full-time writer for 10 years before I was, almost 10 years before I was. You just do the work. That's really, I mean, I know that sounds like, I hate that answer, but it's actually true. Just keep doing it. Just get out there, put your name out there, keep publishing. The best advice I ever got was someone told me, if you want, I think it might have been you, Brian. I don't know. If you want to be successful in this business, just keep showing up.
Yes.
Because there's so many, and you gave all the percentages just a few minutes ago. There are so many people who don't, for whatever reason, legitimate reasons, prevent them from continuing to show up.
Right.
If I didn't have Robin and Sarah, I wouldn't have. My books wouldn't be showing up. But that's how you do it. Really, is keep putting books out there, keep working with people, keep branching out, keep interacting with people and building friendships and relationships, and just keep going. That's really how you do it. I mean, and look, Brian's a lot more successful than I am because he's been doing it for a lot longer. And we're on a show together right now. You know what I mean? Like I have a little bit of chops now too. And we'll both have more in 10 years, so that's exactly. That's the secret there. There's no secret.
It's like, prove your, because I tell people I do a lot of what I do.
You broke up really bad there. Can you say what you just said?
Okay.
Again?
Thank you. I tell, all of this stuff is dead on, right? But you show up, you prove you can do the work, that you're willing to put in the effort for it. And that's how people get to know you. And like you right now, drop names that I am in awe of, and there's people like Ron Fortier, who's been around, professional writer of comics and of books. And I know Rob Davis from the 90s. I know some other people like I work and let them see that I'm putting in the effort and that I'm trying to be worthy to be at the table. Like I told Amy and Kathy years ago, who were, we found each other about the same time on the con circuit. And I told them, I can be worthy to sit at dinner with you guys. That you won't feel like you're slumming because I'm there.
Yeah.
And that's one of my motivations to keep going and to keep doing what I do. And not only that, but I have some people that I need to show up real bad. Hashtag Focus Pride. Yeah. That's why there's a Terrors 2 coming out. You
Yeah,
know?
oh yeah. You know what? I'll say this. I'm so glad that one guy gave you a bad review, so that way I get more of the Terrors.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, keep giving me those. Go iron your sheet hat and give me more of those 2-star reviews, fella.
Dude, for real though. Jeez. Yeah.
No, not that
Gosh.
I know. I go out shooting 6 inches below the water line, but anyway. But just keep doing what you do, Kelly. You need to do it so well. So
Yeah, and I will say this:
stop.
you do. I've worked with you. I love the ideas as one of your illustrators. I love the ideas you give me. Your stuff is so much fun to draw. So keep doing it. Keep doing
I love
it.
your enthusiasm.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
Yeah.
Keep going. But by all means, please take care of yourself.
Yes, by all means.
Don't keep breaking your legs. Okay. You gotta be around
out,
to do
will
stuff.
you?
Yeah.
That's Tide Network here. Anyway, called Malpractice City. Anyway, and Sarah says, yeah, I got to see Rick Bradley in person in Carbondale as well. He was chatting at BKM's booth, and it took me a bit to realize who he was. Great guy and father. He really is. And that's the thing. If you come to my booth, especially if I'm in the Southern Illinois area where my people are, I'm party central.
Yeah.
I don't sell a lot of books at some of these shows because I'm so busy interacting with people. Oh, but anyway, we've got Nick Tockard who asks, I have a question / looking for advice. I'm a decent writer. See growth versus imposter syndrome. You are
You're great, right?
An artist, but I have trouble crossing the streams into comic creation. What would you say to this, Brian, since you've had more comic, really publishing comic experience?
So what's the question? Just how to break in, I guess, how to start doing them.
Yeah, because all I can say is just do it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, even if you're asking kind of technically, like literally how, right? Like what do I do? Right or Wrong by Dirk Manning is a great tool. Now you'll know some of that stuff already, but it really talks about how to break into comics, how to really, I mean, Dirk Manning he writes prose as well. So he has that dual, mentality. Also, and in that book, he references Alan Moore's on how to write comics. I don't remember what it. Just Google
writing comics. I think. It's called.
Yeah. Google Alan Moore's how to write comics, and it'll come.
I think
up.
From Avatar Press.
Yeah, and both of those resources have a lot of, and also look. I'll just tell you, man. I've seen so many different comic book writers. The way that they write their scripts is very personalized. There isn't a correct way to do it. As long as your artist can understand what you're writing, that's the biggest hurdle. And honestly, like, enough artists already who would work with you. So, just, get a good idea. Look up a few different comic scripts. There's many online that you can look at. Honestly, the one that I learned from is how Frank Miller wrote comics. Physically, his comic book scripts look like how I do my comic book scripts because I just copied off of them. So, and really, like, that's the secret, is just learn kind of those technical things and then just start doing it.
Yeah. I would agree, and also especially in the field of indie comics, you can get away with having a quirky style. Your style is very individualistic, Nick, and I always tell people create fearlessly. And you would tell me the same thing, and I expect the same of you, young man. And the thing is, like some of my favorite comics. One of my favorite comics is called Knights at the Dinner Table.
And it was one of the
first. Isn't that a great book?
That's a good book.
Yeah,
it's been around for so long too.
Like over 30 years, they just passed the 312th issue.
Yeah.
There's only like a handful of comics that are ahead of it in numbering, but it's all computer generated, very simple cartooning, but the writing on it is so freaking awesome and so engaging. Indie comics is exactly the best place to work your there is no set style. There is no house style. And you can get your foot in the door by just simply going through it. Neil, and you've got the talent to do it too. Yeah.
Neil Gaiman said it best. There isn't a perfect way to do stuff, because if there was, we wouldn't have individual styles. That the imperfection of the process is what gives the individuality to a style.
Yeah.
And then that's what attracts other people. There's a reason that Mike Mignola attracted millions of people, because his style is so unique. No one had now you can see his style in everywhere, including my own art. But that's because he did something different, and he drew superheroes in ways that no one else had before.
Yeah.
And then that led to Hellboy. So you see what I'm saying? Like the individuality of a person's style can really benefit you, especially in the indie circuit.
Yes, for sure. So don't stop and keep reaching out, Nick, to other writers and artists in the field. You know some. God knows you know plenty of them. We had some at that show, and just attend shows as a fan, and just go up and start conversations with people.
And in all seriousness, and I mean this, where you're at, Nick, is probably the best time to jump on Comics Launch, free podcast by Tyler James. Just listen to it. Listen to an episode a week, and you will learn so much. So yeah,
because when I did my Kickstarter about 6 or 7 years ago with Eric Hawkins on Spencer Spook, Tyler was one of the people. Huge source of great information. So
and he's a great guy. Like, he and I discuss things sometimes. Like, he's willing to talk to anybody. Yeah,
and he's so nice. And he's so generous with his information. So Nick, you just do what you keep. The success will come to you. All right. Kelly Carlisle says, "Thank you, Brian Morris, for putting up with me and taking time to help us in the weeds." Oh, God help you. I have led her towards fresh weeds to get to now. But anyway, no, you and I expect huge things from you. Alex Creations, glad to have you here, Alex. And the people, that's what the possessive there. I have my mentors and the people rooting me on. They are the ones who help me grow, because I can't grow without constructive criticism. Yeah, you need to plant the seed, then give it water and sun. There you go. We're glad to have you here. Thank you. And Nick Tucker goes, BKM is going to be the next Patterson.
I hope not. I hope you're better.
If you're talking about production means, he's being prescient, I believe is the term. We're looking into that. But no, actually, I'm real quick aside. I was in the store the other day, and it had a book section, and by Patterson and the same guy that wrote Savage and Shadow books, he had one called Holmes, Marple, and Poe.
Interesting.
And it's a modern day detective agency where each person has the inherent qualities of their namesake. Crimes
Very
together. I'm like, okay, this I would read.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. His Shadow, not so much.
Yeah, I've got issues with it, although it was well written.
Oh, well, yeah.
Adequately written. I'll give him that.
Just the idea in general, not a fan.
Yeah, I could do an hour on each. Anyway, Sarah says, absolutely BKM. That's how in a second hotel room. Yeah. You be nice to people, and it comes back to you. That's the rising tide way. I heard the mention of Cindy Kempin reached to run her ad. She's a darling. I'm her newest script for Animal Eye. And Michaela J said, I just sold all the greenhouse stuff so I can focus all my energy on MJ books, or I was spread too cooling down. That's why you got me to push you around, honey. Anyway, we do help each other. We do like writing sprints together and stuff.
Oh, I know you've told me about it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And how many years will it be before indie publishing becomes the go-to place to publish instead of the mainstream publishers? Why does mainstream publishing dislike we indie authors so much? Versatility. We have a growing segment of the market. We are not hamstrung by a lot of things that the mainstream are, and I could do like 2 hours just on that myself.
That's a huge topic. Yeah, that's a
that
good topic.
That's an excellent topic, actually. Yeah, I'm going to keep that one marked because I want to come back to that.
I do think a huge reason for that is just in the name indie,
Mhm.
to be mainstream.
Mhm.
Now I do think there's rare occasions where you can be both. I think the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is a perfect example of that.
Yes. Yes.
But now TMNT is very much a corporation in and of itself.
Mhm. Mhm.
But it in the 80s and 90s it really wasn't, but it was huge.
Mhm.
So but
Well, they went and got help. They went reached out and got help.
absolutely. And I think what the difference is, the mainstream stuff is run by, and I don't want to sound too hippy dippy here, but it's run by big corporations. And I mean, you look at Marvel and DC are a machine. You know, you to work there, you don't have the freedoms that you would have if you did your own book.
Mhm.
You have to fit in with your little niche thing, and you are essentially like a um you're on like a line, really. And you get your, you get a page that's been, handled by 5 different people, and then you get your little say in it, and then you pass it on to the next person.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
what mainstream stuff looks like. Indie is usually really, like kind of just guerrilla style, doing
Yeah.
it on your own.
We're the
uh,
underdog.
yeah, I mean, we're
We're
the ones
Rocky
that are out
Balboa.
here. Yeah, I mean, we're the ones that are out here. And even if you have a lot of money, you're still indie if you're doing it yourself, you and a couple other folks just doing it all. That's the difference between indie books and mainstream books. And quite frankly, I don't ever want that to change,
I agree.
because the best stuff out there is indie. It
Yeah,
may not always be polished, but it's always good.
yeah, and I think, well, and a lot of times I think we are more polished than
Oh,
the
now for
mainstream.
sure.
Uh,
Yeah. Or
Cookie
just
has,
as polished.
yeah, and Cookie has a very high rated fantasy author that, this person puts out a book, she'll buy it. She doesn't
Yeah.
care if it's this person's laundry list. Uh, and we got to meet her one time, and I've got a picture of her looking so happy she got to meet
Oh, that's
her
cool.
idol. She admires this person, but me, yeah, anyway. But anyway,
Yeah.
but no, and the thing is, Cookie will buy her books and like, oh, there's an error, there's a spelling error, there's a
Yeah.
formatting error. It's like little things, and I noticed that too.
Yeah.
Now that I do more editing, uh, and I think for the most part, I think we take more care with our books. Most of
Yeah.
us are more hands on because we don't have an organization.
Yeah.
We maybe hire people to do some aspects of the job for us, but you want free labor. I sleep with my formatter and my editor. It's if
Yeah.
that's what you got to do, that's what you got to do. Okay. And by the way, I am available for editing if anyone wants to know. Anyway, but no,
Yeah. And
no,
I mean, really, like, I would also add that in the indie circuit, in the indie circles, there's more love poured into the work than in the mainstream. Even if you
more
like in the
support.
mainstream, you can still love what you're doing, and you can
Oh yeah.
still have a huge passion for what you're working on in the moment.
Hmm.
But usually that thing is assigned to you.
Hmm.
Or if you're not, that's usually in the comic book world. In a novel, you're working, there's a lot of pressure from your publisher, and you could write something and your publisher could say no. You can't do that with your book, and you have
Right.
no choice. You know what I mean? In the indie circuits, you do what you want,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
huge.
It is the control.
Basically, the indie circuit is the libertarian of of the book world.
True, true, true. And you said that about the publisher, um, can veto anything you want to do. There is someone in our chat who, and I won't say who it is, unless she wants me to, Michaela, had a contract for a book, and they said, we want your next book, and then they rejected that book that was part of
Yeah,
a series.
yeah,
So that's why there's an mjbooks.com right now. It's not a secret.
yep.
Carl Witzman says, I made more money writing things for magazines about topics that I didn't care about. I stopped then and went to write the stories that I thought were more interesting. And
Yeah.
more fun, and certainly I'm enjoying that a lot more. Sarah says, how do you approach someone when you find a couple of mistakes in completed out for sale final edition books? Trying to figure it out. Does that mean a full reprint? Not necessarily. If they're minor things, I would say feel free to point them out. We'll be, and go ahead. And if it's me, definitely point them out.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you find something, just privately message me so I don't cry.
yeah. Only you will see my tears, Sarah. But I mean, it doesn't. I'm not, or maybe I'm just projecting, but I know upset because there are books I will redo in the future. So, in fact, I am redoing one. So I'm excited that you made it into the trailer, BCam. Thank you, sweetheart. Charles F. Millhouse, Stormgate Press, and the publisher of a number of these wonderful books here. Please check out Stormgate Press because he's amazing. Love you, Charles. And Michaela says, "Oh shucks, I do work a lot because there will be not one sub-storylines to come from the Elite Warriors." Oops, that's a secret. We won't tell a soul, Michaela. No, as I have, I can keep a secret like no one's business. And Sarah says, finding the trailer was a result of one of my very rare times looking at my timeline. So much worth it. Not sure how I got, but dang, that was a good one. And don't keep supporting each other. You nailed it there. You nailed it right there. And every author I've met that makes a living doing it says just write the next book, which breaks down to put it in the work. If you are serious, it will happen. And like I tell people, nothing succeeds like excess. So keep writing those books. Fill that table with your wit, your joy, the things that scare the pants off us, whatever.
Keep showing up.
Yep. Yeah, keep showing up. Keep doing it. And we can talk about how to get into cons for free eventually. So
just sneak in.
I have been telling people how to get free tables. But anyway, well, you got to put in the work and show you can. Carl says, the saddest side of the book show is someone with only one book. Yeah, but I've been there.
I don't know if that's the saddest thing. I think because anybody who's done a show has been there, hopefully. But I don't know. Like I've been there, and I don't know. It wasn't that sad. And honestly, I'll tell you this: when I see someone who has one book, that makes me want to go see what they have. Because that means they're new and I'm interested. Now, if you just keep seeing the same person for 10 years with one book, then that's sad.
That's when you start, having a little, what's the next one? What's the next one?
Yeah.
Hey, Carl Wisman, at least get into some anthologies and put those on your table. Yeah, that's a good one. I have found that's by tapping into somebody else's fan circles, because maybe they would like your work as well. Carl, that's an excellent suggestion. I thank you, sir. And with that, Brian, we are caught up with the comments, I think. Let me check. Because some of them snuck in on me.
So say, I think we did get a few more.
Yes, and Dawn says, and just spaghetti sticks for one person doesn't mean it'll stick for you. You have to find out what works for you. Emulate some other people that are nailing it, and if what they do doesn't work for you, then you just try something else, but don't ever give up. Lose the game is when you stop playing. That's generalized, not a specific situation. But anyway, thank you, gentlemen, and chat as well. Nick, thank you for being here, brother, as always. And a few things supposed to be in savings along the way. I bought a Barnes & Noble, but dang, there was so much goodness out there. That's why I corrupt you. Anyway, working for such a huge corporation pretty much turns you into a number and very easily replaceable. That's insane. And let's see, Alex Creation says, YouTube ain't my messages, but Library Con and Indie CD Con, I sat back and listened to those who are of higher skill level than me because they have more experience. Yeah. And the thing is, we love to share. We want to help. We want to keep reaching behind us on the ladder as we're reaching for the next rung, because we want the cool people to track.
And I'll say this, if I know it's daunting to put yourself out there to ask someone who is more experienced, and sometimes every now and then it can backfire on you, but most of the time these folks are willing to help. I mean, at the very least, they're willing to point you in a direction that will help you. So if you need advice, I'll tell you this, everyone who has come to me for any kind of advice. Even if I didn't know the answers, I knew where they should go look for them.
Yes.
And I'll help anybody who comes and asks me, as long as they're willing to put the work into it. I'm there to help.
And I will also add, I will do the same. Don't ask me to validate your bad work habits, though.
There you go. Yeah.
Because I've also found that I have little patience for people. I say, well, how'd you get where you are? And I say, well, it's not, I'm not Stephen King or anything, but here's what I did. Oh, I don't want to do that.
And you're not going to be able to do it. Yeah.
Don't do anything then.
Yeah. 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 It's not going to just fall in your lap. You've got to put the work into it. And if you want to know how to balance life and work, we have an episode for that. Just scroll back down, and I don't remember what it's called, but it's essentially rest
between two Brians. That's all I can tell you.
Rest versus work. I think something like that. So it's I mean, there's a lot of but you need to work. You need to rest, but you need to put in the work. If you don't put in the work, you'll never produce anything. So yeah, get out of here with that garbage if you're not wanting to work.
That's right. Yes, and the publisher said my second work showed that I hadn't learned anything from my editor. Well, you told me about your editor. They didn't want it. It's a wonder I didn't learn from an editor who didn't teach. Yeah, seriously. Yeah. And years ago, I had the chance to sell a small publisher a book I wrote called Peter Christie, but turned it down after being told to change many things. To this day, I think you did too, to be honest.
Yeah.
And when you find errors in my stuff, says Nick Tucker, just let me know. I'm trying to work around the issues. A couple of books are due for updates and reformatting in 26, and we have an agreement here. And Charles, who has actually been doing the indie thing longer than I have,
Charles,
he and Molly Daniels, oh my God, those two were doing this long before print on demand. I went from indie on day one. I enjoy being in control. It's not always easy, but it's always rewarding. Yes, it is rewarding because now you can be a Hawkland Crusader just like me. And,
it's not, and in Charles' case, and both of ours now, thanks to him, it's not just rewarding; it's awarding as well.
Yes, it is.
I'm here for all your dad jokes.
I totally love this. And Charles and I will be together at PulpCon in the first 4 days of August in Pennsylvania. So please come see us. It's going to be a raucous time. I will see to it. But anyway, we're going to close it off here. We have finally caught up. First of all, thank you guys for your great questions, your great feedback. Super, super loved it. You helped make this fun. I think I speak for Brian, and we hope that we have brought a little bit of understanding, and we'll revisit this subject because we've just scratched the surface of scratching the surface here.
Oh yeah, there's a lot more to it. And honestly, from some of these questions, we could probably produce 5 or so topics just from things that are being said tonight.
Take care, Charles. Have a good night, brother. And so, tell you what, then in this case, why don't you lead us out, Brian, and then I'll take up the end of the show, and because I have an announcement to make at the end of this broadcast.
Wonderful. Brian is now going to be known as Brianna. No.
It's not the weekend yet. Okay.
Saturday night. So you know what, guys? You're interested in anything that I do, head to BRIANRODMAN.com. Everything that I'm getting into is there. All my social media stuff's at the top. You can see what books we have in store. We have a ton, much more than this. The nebulizer, all my anthology stuff, it's all there in the shop. Also, and this is huge, I've said it a couple times, I'm going to say it again. Next month, the first Kickstarter in 2 years. Can you believe that, Brian? Yeah, I haven't done it.
Wow,
I haven't been able to.
Doesn't seem like it. Wow.
My health has been in shambles, so I haven't been able to launch anything. But yes, we're finally launching the illustrated novel of Memoirs of an Angel, the Gray Pilgrim. We're pivoting from comic books for various reasons. My health, of course, being the biggest. But it's just easier for me to do it this way. But this book is everything the comic has covered, plus so much more. But it's where I was going with the story in the first 4 volumes, which we only put out 1 volume, well, 2 volumes, but 1 trade paperback. So this book covers a plethora of yeah, thanks. A plethora of the story that is really the tip of the iceberg for what is now called the Cosmic Wheel universe, which is going to cover a ton of books. I pretty much have the next 15 years planned out. And we've already started on the next project, which Brian K. Morris and Clyde Hall are with me on that project, and I'm so excited to not only get this book out starting next month, but excited to start the next one very soon and get that out to you as soon as possible. So anyway, I've said enough. Go to BRIANRODMAN.com, subscribe on the homepage, and follow me on Facebook to know everything you need to know about the Kickstarter that's next month. This has been a great show. Thanks, Brian.
Hey, thank you, Brian. As always, my brother. Thank you so much. And thank you again to everyone who has joined us here. And let's see. And good night from Kelly Carlisle. Glad to have you here. Sarah, totally love you. And good night, Carl. Thank you for being here. Thank you, everyone who has been here tonight. And thank you, Sarah. We hope you don't crash too hard. And anyway, thank you all for being here. And we thank you, everyone who watches us on the rerun. And if you want, put in a comment down below. We appreciate you all as well. And we also appreciate our sponsors, who are, as I scroll over to get to them, our Patreon supporters. Patreon is a monthly subscription service where you can support your favorite creators, such as BRIAN RODMAN or even myself, with a affordable monthly stipend. And Brian also has his own page. Please check us both out, because we ask that, we give you stuff for your support, blogs and upcoming notices of stuff, all. So check us out on patreon.com and please become one of our patrons. Also, we want to thank Jeffrey Hayes, Plasma Fire Graphics, for sponsoring this show, an ongoing sponsorship. When you look if your book matters to you, you want to go to Plasma Fire Graphics. Check them out on their Facebook page. Check out the samples there. They go over to plasmafiregraphics.com and ask him about his indie creator-friendly pricing. You are going to be loving it, and you're going to be loving when he starts working on your book, because he becomes, and he asks all the right questions, and you're going to wind up with an award-winning cover, perhaps just like this one here. All right. So anyway, please check him out. And also, we want to thank the Indie Author Book Expo out of West Des Moines, Iowa, and Jen Thompson, who wants to say one last word to you.
Hey everyone, if you haven't heard, let me tell you all about Iowa's only all indie independent bookstore. That means every book on our shelves is self-published or produced by a small publisher. What does that mean for you? Simple. Better books built together. Now come check out what you've been missing at IABE Books and Gifts and find a new reason to fall in love with books again. Located at Valley West Mall across from the Des Moines Children's Museum. IABE is a literary nonprofit.
A wide selection and many genres of many independent authors, including. So please check them out at the Valley West Mall in West Des Moines, Iowa. And we've got a few more people saying good night. Good night, Michaela. We'll see you soon, hopefully. Good night, Dawn. Glad you were here. Thank you, sweetie. And thank you, Donna. Mwah. We'll be talking to you soon, I know. And hopefully be talking to you all. Now, I promised you an announcement. 1 week from Thursday, clever title pending. We are going to have, it's going to be in a regular show. Well, it's always in a regular show because I'm the host. But we are going to be back on a limited run, with more or less when it fits in my writing schedule and all. But we're going to kick off a new season with Jim Beard, who's going to talk about his own imprint, not just Flinch books, but Becky books. What is Becky books? Why is it so important to him? And why does he have like an offshoot publishing thing? Empire, Jim is the guy to ask. So please check us out 1 week from Thursday, which would be 23rd, the 23rd of May. And I'll be there with Jim Beard of Flinch Books, Becky Books, and so many, many great writings from Mr. Beard there. And we're going to be operating at 7 p.m. Eastern on that day. We'll have more notice on my page on Facebook and other places, and our Patreon page. And let's see, a couple more people, I think. And just when you think Rodman's gone, then you suddenly hear him. I heard
From
nothing.
the shadows.
I heard nothing. You must be imagining things, Dawn. And good night to you, Nick. And thank you all for being here. We, like I said, we do appreciate you all, and we hope that we have given you some information. And hopefully, we'll be back in a couple weeks with some more great information and entertainment for you guys. And as always, stay smart, stay safe, wash your hands, and never apologize for being awesome. And see what you can do to make this rest of this week really great for somebody by just giving them a smile, even if they didn't ask for it. Especially if their life is one of these. Come on, today. There we go. Work. There we go. He saw it for a second. Oh, I love the slick show. Anyway, find somebody that looks like they're having a rotten day. Give them a smile. You might just improve it for them. And as always, folks, this is Brian K. Morris wishing you a great evening and be good.
How dare you!